Okay, since cooking has been a large part of my life since I was about 5, been cooking for a very long time, I figured I would show a quick and simple recipe that my family loves to make and really enjoy it, especially the rolls. The rolls are kind of our family thing. So we're going to start this with a 5 pound pork roast. Boneless is preferred. You can use a bone in, it doesn't really matter, but you want to make sure it's got a lot of meat to it because this is going to be a big meal. It's going to serve a lot of people, maybe 6 at most. Pretty good. And then you're going to need 6 common herbs. Anybody who cooks would have them in their cupboards in their kitchen. It's basic things like salt and pepper, paprika, anything you'd find in your local store. Nothing too exotic. Excuse me. And you're going to combine those 6 herbs and spices into a rub, which will give a kind of smoky flavor to the meat when it's done, or not flavor, but smell. You'll be able to smell it, and it smells really good. It's peppery, and then you're gonna rub the rub into the meat thoroughly. Make sure you use like circles. You want to kind of pack it into the meat pretty good. Get underneath any like piece where the meat folds over anything. Cover the whole thing. Flip it over. Rub it all over the roast, and then you're gonna put it in a crock pot for 4 hours at minimum on high in the crock pot, or 8 hours at the maximum on low. Depends on the cooker. Whenever it's tender, it starts falling apart really easy with a fork. And then you're going to put that aside and you're going to start making the butter rolls for the sandwiches. These are really good, really buttery, and they're super easy to make. You can make it with anything, the basic ingredients you find in your house. Anybody who cooks will have them. Same with the pork. So you're gonna have flour, salt, eggs, butter, just really basic things. Again, nothing too exotic. But you're making bread, so it's not that difficult. But most people don't make their bread. But you won't need anything special to make this. Excuse me. And then you're gonna put 2 cups of flour, half your amount, into a large bowl with the yeast, and you're going to set that aside, and you're going to use almost all of the rest of your ingredients to make a warm milk mixture on your stovetop in a saucepan that will help activate the yeast and get the ball rolling to making this bread. It only takes maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours after that to finish them, because it has to rise. So when the milk's heating, don't get too hot, because if it spoils the milk, it'll ruin the flavor. Nobody likes the taste of sour milk, at least I don't. So you want to have the butter in it when you're melting it to be about quarter sized, and you want to stir it constantly, keep it moving, because it's not good for the milk to sit there like that in the pot while it's getting warm. And then you're going to combine the milk and the flour into a kind of mushy, lumpy looking mass inside the bowl. You can use a spoon to mix it, or a mixer for about a minute or so until it's pretty well mixed. Get the flour off the side of the bowl, and you're going to add your eggs and mix that until the eggs are absorbed into the dough. The flour is pretty much gone from the side of the bowl, and it'll be kind of a sticky, lumpy blob in the bowl. Excuse me. And it should stick your fingers together. If you scoop up a bit with your finger, it'll come real stringy, between your fingers if you do this, which is good. I mean, you're on track. You should have added flour. Now I think about it. You add flour as you mix that till it gets to about that point, and then you're gonna take it out of the bowl onto a flat surface, your tabletop, your countertop, or cutting board. Sprinkle that surface with flour, put the dough on it, and you're going to use the base of your palm of your hand to kind of push the dough around, fold it over itself, and do that. Sprinkle the dough with flour to help get it to a smooth texture, and it won't be quite as sticky, which is good. is what you need. And you're gonna put it in a bowl, the bowl you took it out of, or another bowl that's been greased or oiled. I prefer oil, and put it in a warm place and cover it with a light towel. And it's gonna take about an hour for it to rise. It's gonna double its size. And when it does that, you uncover it and you'll punch it. That helps to determine if it's risen correctly, and if it has, you're gonna want to cover it again, let it rest for 10 more minutes, so that your fist mark will rise back up to a good position. So you want to have it two mashed, and then you will divide the dough up into pieces, and you're gonna want about. I use little balls. Make a ball about tennis ball size. You should get about maybe a dozen or so out of them, and then you're gonna put them on a cooking sheet and let them rest for another half an hour, 45 minutes until they've risen, and then you're gonna bake them in an oven at 375 degrees for about 15 minutes, maybe a little less, or until they're a nice golden brown color, like in the picture here. So you may get a dozen and a half, which is a pretty good run for that. And then you have your roast. It should be done with, as soon as it's done, it should come apart really easy with a fork. It just come off in shreds. That's good. You want to take the shreds out, separate them from the fat, get rid of the fat, and then that's the meat of your sandwich. No pun intended there. And then cut the rolls in half. Barbecue sauce is optional. Put your sandwich together, and